Welcome to my podcast. Hi, this is Jared Polak. Hope you guys are off to a great day, great afternoon, great evening, whenever you're listening to this podcast. I want to try to take you through the idea of how to plan for an awesome day. How to plan for an awesome day. I get a lot of questions about, how do you plan for your day? What are some different tips or nuggets of information that'll help us more effectively plan for a day? Because oftentimes people go through their day and they get caught up in the busyness of this world. It's a busy life, lots of activities, media, email interactions, kids running around, appointments, back and forth, interruptions, and it's really a pretty fast-paced day. And to really have an awesome day, it takes some planning. And I'm going to kind of take you through a little bit of what I try to do consistently and what I strive for consistently to plan for my day. And, I think there's a lot of different styles out there. And so please, you don't have to do it exactly like me, but I'll tell you what, this little format that I have works really well. And I talk to a lot of different people that have similar formats. And I absolutely believe that a little bit of time invested in the beginning of the day or the night before to plan for your day, it will come back in a major way in terms of the time you invest. And I'm thinking, oftentimes it might take 5 to 15 minutes to really sit down and plan. And so I'll kind of take you through what that looks like for me. And so here's how to plan for an awesome day. And I'll kind of take you through my day. Well, really for me, it starts the night before. And in an ideal, perfect situation, I'll actually begin planning my next day by the end of business the day before. So if I'm planning for Wednesday, at Tuesday, at the end of the day, whether it's 4 or 5 or 5:30, 6 o'clock, something like that, I will actually do this process. So I didn't do that last night, and sometimes I plan in the morning, and so that works too. Some people prefer to plan in the morning because things change. And so I'll kind of talk you through what I do. Essentially, one really key thing is before I go to bed or before you go to bed, it's just really important to have the right mindset, the right attitude, excitement about the next day. I oftentimes kind of think through and think through all the things I'm thankful for the night before, the reasons I'm excited for the next day, and I try to do that before my head actually hits the pillow. And so when I wake up in the morning, I try to kind of do that same thing, wake up in a kind of a moment of thankfulness for everything that I have in my life, and really that is a good foundational start. I go and I always eat breakfast. I'm a believer in eating a healthy breakfast. Very important, I think, and as well as this is not a mandatory thing, but I take a shower in the morning. It kind of gets me refreshed and ready to go. The next thing I do is I try to read or listen to something that will kind of keep me grounded for the day. And this morning I listened to a sermon about one of my favorite books in the Bible. Sometimes people listen to different motivational folks in the morning. A lot of people like to read different things that are going to keep you grounded and ready for the day. I really believe that makes a huge impact on my day and my life, and there's been many books written about that idea as well. Then what I do is I get out my 90-day or quarterly or yearly goals, depending on kind of how much time I'm going to spend planning for that day. And so I look at what I have planned out for that quarter, and on that quarterly goals, I also have my personal life vision, my life values, and I kind of read through what are my core values, my underlying principles. I already have them memorized, but just to kind of stay in the forefront, I look at that. Then I look at everything that I want to achieve that quarter, and I think, okay, of all these things that I want to achieve per quarter, these bigger goals, what is 1 or 2 or 3 little bite-sized things that I can knock out today? What are 1 or 2, 3 things I can knock out today? And like for today, for example, I know that my schedule is already full of meeting with coaching clients all day. I basically have an 8 till 4 o'clock nonstop coaching sessions, one right after the other, except I have a little 1 hour break for lunch. and then at the end of the day I have between 4 and 5 a little slot of time. And so I already know that today I don't have a lot of other space to do really a lot of business development, a lot of future growth things for my business, but I do have a little nook and cranny of time there that I have scheduled out. And so I already know that about my schedule. And so when I'm looking at my goals, what I do is I chose 3 different things that I wanted to do during those little slots of time based on my quarterly goals. Now, in terms of quarterly goals or yearly goals or monthly goals or weekly goals, there's a longer process that I do to help people prepare for that. And so I'm not going to really explain everything. I'm just kind of assuming that you have some bigger goals for the quarter, for the year, for the month that you can look at. And then you take little three things that you can accomplish during that day. That's what I do. And then I look at my calendar and I just actually plug that time into my calendar, into those slots. And that's it. That's how I plan for the day. Now, a couple things that I would really recommend not doing. This is maybe a not important list or avoid these things kind of list. One thing that a lot of people, I believe, make tragic mistakes on is the first thing they do every morning is look at their emails. And they start going through their emails. Now, of course, there's exceptions to everything I say. Because there are some people that truly do have to look at their emails in the morning, and you're probably not one of those exceptions. And I'm probably not one of those exceptions either. So if the first thing you do is look at emails in the morning, it doesn't usually start your day off on the right track. It usually makes it more of a reactive day, not a proactive day. And so very rarely do I start and if I do, I don't really recommend it as a good habit, is starting off your day looking at emails, because then you get going down a little bit of the wrong path for the day many times. So don't start off with your emails. However, you can plan time in your day to knock out emails. That's fine. That could be a part of your planning. The next thing I'm very cautious about recommending not to do is turning on the news or listening to anything that's negative in the morning. I guess in essence, I like to listen to positive things in the morning or read things or study something that is going to have a huge impact on my life. Well, be very careful about every single thing you put into your mind. And this isn't just in the morning. This is throughout the day. Again, some people maybe have to look at the news for your work or for some reason you have to do it. But for most of us, we don't. And there's nothing that usually benefits us by the news, and again, sometimes Facebook or social media, things like that. If it's the first thing, it's not always great. Not bad, but not always great. And so just be careful what you put in your mind in the morning, and because the news isn't usually a bright place, especially local or international news. Definitely, what I do, and this isn't necessarily the right or wrong thing to do, but I do try to stay educated, but it's more of I look at it more of like a monthly thing just to understand what's going on in the world. And I'm very selective with what media outlets I listen to or use, just because I know a lot of people that listen to certain talk radio in the morning or news, and honestly, it just makes them depressed for the rest of the day. And so if you want to have an awesome day and plan for an awesome day, doing that is not going to get you going on the right foot. And so, today, just to kind of close off this podcast, today was a little bit of could have been a rough day for me just because I've had a head cold for a while, and it just hasn't, when you're sick and you just don't feel great. And so I was extra intentional this morning and last night about just being excited about today. I mean, I know one thing I told myself is I look at a full caseload of coaching sessions all day today and helping people. I think back to when I started helping people. I really try to help people double their business, or I really try to help people double the amount of free time they have in their life, and help them in many different areas. But I remember when I started out, I thought I will just do this for free. I don't even need to get paid for this. And honestly, I do need to get paid to support my family and have a lifestyle that I want within reason. But I would do it for free. And so when I think back on my day, even though I was sick and had a cold and my body didn't feel well, I am so thankful that I have so many people that allow me to enter their world, to be on their team, to help them grow and get better and have an awesome day themselves. So I talk about that myself. And I also think back to when I started my business, when I didn't have a full day of coaching clients. I didn't have the problem of having too much work or too many people wanting to work with me. I never had the ability to be selective with who I worked with. I remember when I woke up in the morning, I think about when I got in the shower, and it was a warm water going all over my body. It's one of the best feelings. And I think too, the times where I've traveled throughout the world internationally where, there is no warm water in the morning. The water is freezing cold. I know doing service projects throughout the world, I've experienced that. And so I'm very thankful for just warm water. And so again, it's always good to start and end with thankfulness and that attitude, but also there's some strategic planning in terms of getting your schedule lined out that make it an awesome day. So I really want to encourage you with this podcast. I know that when you do what I suggested consistently, or at least you use the template, it is going to make a tremendous impact on your day. And so anyway, I want to encourage you to go ahead, make it happen. Have a great day, and may you have much success in your week.